Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host, the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can. And oh yeah, your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. All right, and you can't be doing it alone here. All right, can't be doing it alone in the yard streams. Gotta have with me the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey yo.
Hello.
What's popping? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm ready for the weekend. You know,
tough night last night.
Yeah.
It was tough. I really don't want to talk about it. I'm very happy that we stopped talking football together and started talking wrestling together. Because boy howdy, we got a lot to talk about on the sports airwaves. But thank God we don't have to talk about that, Sara. You can step away from that world that you're living in, because it's that time of the week we gotta talk. Go around the Wrestleverse and talk wrestling, because there's a lot of news going on. I feel like at this point, I'm so locked into it that I'm walking into the gym today, like started going to the gym a lot more, feel great, do it if you are on the fence. That's not the point. The point is I'm walking in and I got two wrestling themes that I'm blasting before I start doing my workout. And the two, I'm not going to say like, guess who it is. Give at least one guess. Throw one out at least.
The Shield.
No, I was listening to that at work, but good guess. I was listening to that at work and I felt it. Give me one. I'll give you one more. I'll give you a hint. They're on this show tonight.
The Bloodline?
Who's
Roman?
No, the wolf.
Jacob Fatu.
There it is. Him and then Ilya Dragunov. Back to back into Kenny Omega to start my lift. Like, oh, you get so hyped by listening to some. I don't know what it is, but God, it gets the blood flowing. Hopefully the shit we talk about today gets your blood flowing. And speaking of you, yes, I'm talking to you, the peeps. What's up, David? How you doing? Good to see you guys here. Yeah, it's Thursday, Sara.
It's Friday.
Fuck, it is Friday. I was just an autopilot. Because we do have SmackDown tonight. We have SmackDown live 8/7 Central. Oh, God, I can't wait. I don't really have a funny story, anything. That was really my funny story. And I just kind of want to talk about what's going on. So enough of them mucking about. Let's just go into our favorite segment of the week.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, Sara. Be a rosebud. It is time for the lemons and rosebuds of the week. If you're new here, lemons, least favorite. Roses, favorite. Okay. I'm done royal rambling here, Sara. I think it's time for you to tell the peeps, what was your favorite thing in wrestling this week?
I think it was just posted today, but seeing the face paint that Jeff Hardy did in honor of The Fiend, I thought that was pretty cool. I know it's just simple and whatever, but I think it just goes to show you like the reach that Bray had, because I don't think he worked a lot with Jeff. I know he worked a lot with Matt.
Yeah, he worked a little bit with Jeff, but
yeah. And I'm sure Jeff was around anyway, obviously, like where Matt is, Jeff is. So I don't know, but I thought that he did like a really good job with his face paint, and it looked just like the Fiend's mask. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Because like there are certain tributes to wrestlers that have untimely passed that I feel are never going to get old, and I don't mean like there are ones that necessarily will, but there are certain ones where you're like, okay, yeah. And so I know it's only been a year, but still, I thought that was really, really cool to see.
It was well done too, and
Yeah.
a lot of Jeff Hardy's face paint over the years has been incredible, and something like that tribute to Bray. You can see the detail that went into it, so you could see how much he did care
Yeah.
about, or did whatever, care about him. It's really nice to see that reach, especially in other promotions where he didn't wrestle. You know what I mean? Like it's that type of thing that goes on in wrestling that I love.
Yeah.
That something like that, or I know it's sad circumstances, but has the reach to other promotions. Even AEW, they did a little. Some wrestlers did a tribute, whatnot, and then you have that face paint with Jeff Hardy. It's nice. It's nice. I gotta agree there. my Rosebud, I'm still deciding, like, because I want to not talk about the the A product, WWE, because obviously we talked about that on Tuesday. And I do want to give a little shout out to AEW because I do like what they're doing. I'm gonna just give it to AEW as a whole, Sarah, today. Because I do want to talk about how it is getting better. They are doing a lot more longer term storytelling. The stuff with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, I'm very into, because I didn't really know a lot about the United Empire when I got back into it a little bit post-pandemic, and I think they've been incredible to watch. The double teams, the chemistry they have has been absolutely exceptional. And then you have the dark side of the storytelling in Mox, Claudio, and Maria Shafir, one of, people forget, Ronda's 4 Horsewoman. Just, I think, killing Daniel Bryan at All Out with the plastic bag, and
at least attempting.
At least attempting to, and then the whole Wheeler Yuta stuff, because Wheeler looked up to him, and the thing is that Pac, Claudio, and Yuta are the trios champions, and Yuta's like, dude, guys, what the fuck? You just killed my mentor. And like, I'm not I'll defend it, fine, but like, we have stuff to talk about. It's so much better than when I first started watching. And yeah, the ticket sales are not the best, and people can debate about the the ratings and stuff, but I don't mind being a broken record player when I say this, is that AEW needs to exist. TNA need to exist. And if I see signs of at least an attempt of improvement, keep going. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting the deal allegedly with Warner Brothers, which is very beneficial for them. I'm very happy to see them moving forward with this right now and getting better with the storytelling, because now, like, I can hopefully entice you and others to say, no, don't just watch WWE. There's a product that, if you don't like some of the more TV, like, kind of stiff type stuff, you go to AEW. Rambling over, but yes, like, it's getting better. It's awesome.
Yeah, now it's just if they can keep it going. I think that's always the question, because we have said it because I comment on whatever's going on, but we've said it a lot over the past year with AEW about it. It's like, oh, they're on the right path, they're doing the right thing, and then it's like, and then we come back and say it again a couple months later. So it's like, you just hope that if they're moving in the right direction right now, that'll keep going, especially if they're on the cusp of getting a new deal, because you would think that you would want to work even harder and put out an even better product when you're trying to get a long-term television deal, like, even if it is just like temporary extra hours and whatever just to like butter up somebody to get a contract. But hopefully for the sake of, you know, the weekly fans, it's something that they keep up, because obviously it matters, and it's something that they the long-term storytelling, as we talked about with Swerve and Hangman Page, like it paid off, you know, by revisiting that and continuing that story from a year before.
And now Jeff Jarrett's getting in the mix,
Mhm.
and I'm interested. Like, I want to see Jeff Jarrett versus Hangman Page in 2024.
And rumors are, which I think it's from Meltzer, so you can take it for what it is, but it's still a rumor that Swerve is probably coming back a lot sooner than they originally anticipated. So
I would lean on the side of that being true, as someone who I feel like I understand who Swerve is, and he would rather be in the product right now than sitting on the sidelines.
Well, yeah, because I mean the match was brutal, but like, was it so brutal that he would need to be sidelines for like a long time? No.
I'm pretty sure after the death match, he came back, or at least did something that Wednesday on Dynamite. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
He probably just got some time off.
Unless they injected him with something really bad, then
What was in that needle? You don't know.
We don't know.
Tests. I don't know what's in that needle. I only use
idea.
needles.
Yeah, I don't
dirty needles.
I don't use needles at all. So
well, what happens when you get blood work done?
Okay, well, yeah, but I'm still not using it though.
David, you're damn right. The United Empire is amazing, or was always amazing. And you know what? I will tack this on to my rosebud as well, that I'm excited to see Ricochet and Ospreay live, as someone who has watched countless hours of Twitter videos from their previous matches. It's going to be very cool to watch in real time. All right. I don't want to do it, but we have to, Sarah. We have to talk about our least favorite things in wrestling this week. And I have an inkling that you kind of want to go off on something in this segment.
Yeah.
So you just, you know what? Yeah, you take the floor, girl. Just floor is yours. I'm just going to sit here and be entertained. So
I hate to have her be my lemon of the week again. But when you keep saying ridiculous things and your fans then defend it, you're going to land on my lemon list. Okay. So shout out Mercedes Moné, giving me lots of good lemons over the past couple months, because girl. So the latest scandal, if you want to call it, it's a scandal according to the AEW tribalists anyway, is SmackDown getting a new theme and it being a Megan Thee Stallion song. Mind you, it also has features. However, it's a Megan Thee Stallion song. So that brought up a lot of weird reactions from people, but that's not the point here. The point was that it became this controversy because of her connection to Mercedes Moné. And apparently Mercedes had said just a few weeks before something about working with Megan in the future. And this then became a talking point by AEW fans, Mercedes fans, that WWE purposely used a Megan Thee Stallion song to get back at Mercedes, or to take away her opportunity to work with Megan in AEW, something bogus like that. And that they were able to do that in a couple of weeks just because they're so focused on Mercedes. And she kind of alluded to that as well, of course, in this infamous Money Mag that she has, where she said, "It's true. A few weeks ago in an interview, I made the mistake of teasing the idea of working with Megan Thee Stallion, which made headlines. More recently, it was announced that Meg would be part of the new SmackDown theme. It could all be a coincidence, of course, but then they don't call me the blueprint for nothing. In hindsight, I should have kept my mouth shut about it, but all you can do is live and learn." Girl.
I only have
girl.
two. Yeah, I'll let. Do you want to go before I? Yeah, you go. Keep going, girl.
Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think you are? I'm not trying to take anything away from this girl. If you think she's one of the best, or she thinks she's one of the best, then go off, queen. Feel that way. Everybody deserves to be confident and think their shit don't stink, okay? But let's be real. WWE is not obsessed with you, honey. They're not. If anything, you're obsessed with them because you keep talking about them. You know, like it's literally impossible, unless they somehow were able to do something that has never been done before. It's impossible for Mercedes to have said these comments and WWE to have gotten a deal with Megan Thee Stallion and all of those that are featured, that they were able to get the rights to her song, that they were able to shoot all of the new promotional videos for SmackDown that went with the theme song and the new logo. Like, this is not all just because you said something and people are talking about it. When she was Sasha Banks, there were conversations with Megan for her to work with her while she was in WWE. Not to mention, Bianca Belair has been connected to Megan Thee Stallion. So
Thank
it's
you for
not
bringing that
like Mercedes / Sasha is the only one that has ever met, spoken to, talked about working with Megan Thee Stallion. It's just not it. So it's like, why are we making a situation about you? You're trying to rile up the fans, despite everybody in, AEW specifically saying, "Oh, we need to calm down the tribalism and blah blah blah." You're fanning the flames when you do stuff like
But
this.
you're just doing this. You're just doing.
It's just
Hold on,
not.
let me
It's
close
not
it.
necessary.
She's doing a lot of this, like a lot of
Yeah.
this.
It's just not necessary because it's just such a silly thing, like
Yeah.
in the big scheme of things, it's really not that big of a deal. And we really don't even know if this means that she can't work with Megan. We don't even know if that's a thing, so
I don't think it is. I don't think, no, they don't have like rights to artists.
I mean, that would
They
be
have
like quite a
rights to
contract.
songs.
Yeah,
They have rights to songs.
Not
Does
like,
anyone know how media law works? The champ
well,
does.
according to the AEW fans that are pissed off about it, that believe that WWE did this as a petty X, they believe this means that she now can't work with Megan.
What are they typing that in the Cheeto fingers? Like, come on.
I don't know. It's just kind of.
I only
ridiculous.
have two things to add to it. The blueprint comment. I gotta get that off because that is just irking.
Girl,
kind of, but
humble pie,
annoying.
pie.
Yeah, just like be humble, sit down.
Well, because that's the
said
thing.
it.
Like I said, you can
But-
have a big ego, you can think highly of yourself, but it's really unattractive when you voice it constantly.
Exactly.
You know what I
when
mean?
you
You can
flaunt
exude it, but when you talk about it, you seem more insecure.
Mystery is attractive. And also the real point, and to wrap this up in a nice bow, do you know what the number one song was on Apple this week?
Megan Thee Stallion song.
Exactly. That is why WWE did it. Moving on
Yeah.
to my lemon of the week. Yeah.
On the learning tree.
That
On the learning tree.
so bad.
Really didn't have to play it twice.
I didn't mean to. I clicked it by accident because
Okay,
I was
well,
trying to get
that
rid
was
of my banner.
It's
It was painful. I know, Sarah. I didn't enjoy it either. All right.
Yeah, that didn't he have a match that went like 20 minutes on Dynamite?
Way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long. Like, I looked over because I do the two screen. I looked over like 5 times and I'm like, this match is still going on.
It feels like a
What
bit
are we
at
doing?
this point because we know that Tony lives on Twitter and like he knows what people are saying about Jericho. So it's like he doesn't have to agree, obviously, because he's still employed and still featuring him in some like big storylines and whatever. So I'm not saying that. But what people are saying, that they don't want to see him, or this is bad, or that's not working, and that you keep doing these things. So it feels like purposeful at this point. Like, because did Jericho need a 20-something minute match on Dynamite?
No.
No.
He didn't do bad, but I don't want to see it. Like,
yeah. Well, because
like,
I mean, that's a weird feud that I don't think anyone cares about right now.
I have been getting a lot of Jericho interviews in my algorithm. Great mind. I love learning from him in that regard. However, when you're still wrestling, when your strengths would be better in a backstage role and enhancing talent that way, that's where I get annoyed.
He's good
Because
with other people,
like,
but
yeah,
he's lost
I mean,
touch of work,
Big
like
Bill.
how to work himself.
Big Bill has been a very entertaining aspect of the learning tree. I'm not gonna lie. Brian Keith, I'm a little upset about. I think he should be getting more of a singles run. I don't like this, like, yeah, dude, listen to it. Like, I don't like that aggression. Like, cool, fucking relax. But it's what's the word phrase I'm looking for? Past its course. Ran its course. Thank you. It's ran its course, and I would rather see Jericho on commentary. You know, like a role like that where you're not taking up time that I would rather see someone else get. You know, I would honestly, this can be crazy, but hear me out. I would have rather have seen Jamie Hayter and Saraya over Jericho on Dynamite.
I feel like if he doesn't want to take on like a full backstage role, you know, because maybe he doesn't, I feel like commentary is kind of like a good happy medium because you're still on TV. You're still able to like talk about wrestling and even maybe get involved every now and then. And so it's like you're not completely unseen and unheard, you know? But I don't know if they have a spot for that for him right now.
We'll have to find out. I hope with this whole Warner Brothers deal that Jericho moves on from television and into production. I would like to see that because he does have a great mind.
Well,
just too old, man. Too old.
Because people need to know when their time is up. Because it's like in football, you know what I mean? It's like Brett Favre retired and came back, and it was like, bro, just because now that's what people remember. People don't remember, you know, his history with the Packers. It's all about like, oh yeah, he played for the Jets and the Vikings and he was really bad, you know, like just know when to call it quits.
Gotta know when to hold them. Let's get to Sarah. We have some peeps who gave their own Lemon and Rosebud. Ramiro, been a peep. You've been around a little bit. I like to see that. Rosebud and Lemon is a combination. Rosemary and NXT because glad we're seeing that crossover. But Lemon because she was pinned by Lyra, who is not on NXT. Can I make a little happy medium here? Maybe that's a good thing that she got pinned by Lyra instead of Tatum. Lyra being a main roster person, pinning someone who's main roster on TNA. So it balances out. That's the way I see it. I would totally be on the picketing lines with you if Tatum pinned it. But with Lyra, and Lyra should be getting those types of wins right now. It's the WWE product. If it was TNA and she's getting the win, all right, fair. You have a right to be annoyed. However, Lyra needs wins that are not on Raw to legitimize her more on Raw, if that makes sense. You know, like you got to legitimize, like, yeah, she beat anyone in NXT. But when it comes to Raw, you know, she's still competing with the Pure Fusion Collective.
Yep.
It makes sense, but you have to go outside the box a little bit. No, Nathaniel. Oh, you do? I love the learning tree. We can all learn together. Not in kayfabe. Not in kayfabe. And no, but Fozzy can sing it. Okay. So Fozzy will sing that for you because I'm not. All right. I love Fozzy. Guilty pleasure. But I refuse to sing that song. All right. So yeah, let's turn down the radio and head over into the Wrestleverse. Skirt around it because there's been a lot of news, especially in like the past few days. It feels like there's been a ton of news dumps in the wrestling world.
Yes,
and I feel like we need to talk about them. And the first, I mean, we're just gonna jump all back and forth. We could obviously talk about WWE, but I want to talk about. I really want to talk about this first because it's the most obvious free agent that AEW could have their eyes on. And there may be a part of me deep down that wants to see it. However, that part is my heart. Okay. It's not my head. Okay. And my head is telling me that WWE values KO a whole lot more than TK could ever dream of.
Well, I think there's also enough like crossover that Kevin has, friendships with people in AEW that I think he would know that he's probably not going to be used in the way that he would want to be in AEW. And there's a reason why some of these people that jumped ship are out already. Like I think Kevin might be in a league of his own above a lot of those people, but at the same time, it's like we've seen a pattern where people from WWE go to AEW and maybe they're hot for like a month or two and then they kind of like fizzle off unless they're a founding member of AEW or they're like Mercedes. You know what I mean? But it's like otherwise it's like I'm waiting for the Ricochet stuff to kind of like end. Like that's going to come to an end at some point. Like he's the hot commodity right now, but in like a month or two, he's not going to be doing a whole lot more in my eyes than what he was doing in WWE. I feel like that's just like the inevitable fate of what's to come. So I think Kevin Owens is a WWE guy for life, unless we get any indication that that's not the truth. I don't see him leaving. Like they're saying, the current rumor right now is that WWE is working on like over a dozen contracts that are set to expire or whatever. Yeah. So Kevin Owens, I feel like, I mean, he's a constant feature no matter where he is. He was one of the top guys in NXT. He's been a top guy on Raw. He's been a top guy on SmackDown. He's constantly a top merch seller. Even if it's not the top 5, he's going to be in the top 10, top 15.
I buy all the time.
Yeah, so I don't see him leaving. I don't blame AEW for being interested. I mean, especially his connection to the Young Bucks. Like, hello, yeah, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
That's the only reason I could see him jumping over there. It seems like a lot like WCW with the blank checkbook that they have with TK. And that's great and dandy for a short time. But in the long term, it works better for WWE for him to stay with WWE because it's steady. Your work schedule, it is not like how it was years ago where you're traveling. They even announced again today that they are lightening the live events load, and you can raise a family. Like his focus right now is not to become WWE champion again. If it was, he would have defeated Cody Rhodes or he'd be long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just wants to be a WWE superstar and be a father. And WWE understands that you need to have a healthy work-life balance. I see years ago, if this was KO right out of ROH and PWG and into NXT, and then it didn't work out in the main roster, yeah, like 2016, 2018 maybe. But like
Vince
now,
McMahon's WWE, yeah.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Especially 1,000%. Based on what they were doing near the end of, when he left and Triple H took over. Like if that continued, then yeah, I would understand why Kevin would be like, bye, but it's a totally different vibe.
Totally different.
And
everyone says it.
And with AEW too, it's like money only goes so far. Like I don't want, it's easy for me to connect it to the NFL because hello, that's part of my job. But there's a reason why players will stay with a team even if they're losing and they're nowhere near a Super Bowl, or they're, because they like where they're at, or they'll take less money to stay somewhere because they like where they're at. They don't always thrive by going to the place that's going to give them the most money because it's not always a good fit. And that works in the wrestling sphere too. So it feels like Kevin Owens is, is an AEW guy till he retires. I don't see that changing.
Don't either. I really don't. And I was going to talk about something else, but you kind of alluded to it, so let's talk about it. Is that WWE is taking a completely new approach to contract extensions in opening discussions a hell of a lot sooner than they did in previous years, especially with certain superstars. I love this. It's probably one of the better decisions that they have made with the new Triple H era.
Mm-hmm.
What this does, it shows that, okay, maybe they're not on TV right now, or, they're in a contract extension and it's someone on TV or whatever. It shows that they have a plan for them, at least for the future, because they're big stars that they're trying to resign. KO being one of them. I'm like 90% sure Rhea or someone else was approached early. Sheamus just resigned for the 3 years, and that was talked about weeks before it even happened. It's showing that they value their talent now, and not only that, if it's a lower mid, whatever, it shows that they have at least a plan for them, or they see them in the future of the company. Which, if you're a talent, that's the main thing you want to hear, is that there is a spot for you in the future. I love the idea.
I think it's smart. It's treating them more like actual athletes, because if you look at pro sports and any of the big leagues, the pro leagues, this is how they usually conduct contracts extensions or whatever. And it's smart because it also gives the person security. I mean, granted, in WWE, it's a lot different than in the NFL or whatever, because you can be traded. But in WWE, it's reassuring to the wrestlers, like, okay, I don't have to worry about my contract expiring. Like, I know, okay, now I'm locked down for another 2 years. Like, I don't have to worry. I'm going to be paid. I'm going to be able to pay my bills. Like, I'm going to be a superstar, whatever. I think it's a good idea. And like you said, it shows that they value them, instead of waiting until the very last second, or waiting for them to post on social media that they're leaving because they didn't get anything done with them beforehand. Like, it's really risky to do that right now too. And maybe that's part of it, because there are wrestlers who are willing to go to AEW and vice versa. So it might be easier to just be like, no, we're locking you down. But I also think it goes back to Triple H claiming that he likes to write out stories and feuds and stuff like a long time in advance. So, and obviously that changes depending on the reaction of the fans, unless you're like The Rock, then it's The Rock that changes it, because it was just him. But this also could play a part in that, because then it's like, all right, when they were talking about Drew McIntyre signing his new deal, and it was for 3 years, it was like, yeah, they probably were talking to him about this drawn out long story with CM Punk and whatever that might inevitably lead to. That would be a huge reason for somebody to be like, yeah, I want to sign a new contract, I want to stay, because then they know, like you said, they're going to be used, they're going to be on television, they're going to be doing something that seems worth their time, instead of going somewhere else and not knowing that and not having that security. So I think it's a good move for sure. Like, really smart of whoever just thought this was a good idea.
It's nice. It's nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's next? Let's get rid of 1, 2. Where do I want to go now? Let's talk about this, because Nathaniel already brought it up, and this made me chuckle at work today. Miro apparently asked for his release from AEW. I'm pretty sure it was Fightful, per Fightful. And the problem is, Sara, his contract is not up until spring, I'm pretty sure, of 2026. I know for sure it's 2026. How do you want to see Miro back in WWE?
Okay, so
Or
I'm not
Rusev, whatever we're fucking calling him.
right. I I don't want to be somebody who's like, oh yeah, I don't want someone to get paid. I don't want someone to continue living their dream if that's what it is. Like, I don't want to say that, but I also feel like when we're talking about people who either just left WWE and went off and did the indies or TNA, or maybe they left and went to AEW, like on the list of people that I think would be interesting to see return, I'm not that interested in seeing a Rusev return. Like there were moments where Rusev was super entertaining, but I was never like Rusev Day and whatever. Like, yeah, like
it's Rusev Day.
Yeah, like I'm just not like I don't
I
know.
miss it.
It's just kind of like is that an entertainment factor that's lacking in WWE right now? No.
No.
I mean, if it happens, whatever. I don't really think that he would be in a much better spot than he was before when he left. I mean, at one point, obviously, he was like at the top of the card, but by the end, he was definitely in the middle. So, I don't know that he would be any bigger than that. But I mean, if they want to pay him the money and they want to like try and figure out something that he can do in the mid card, I wouldn't be surprised. But otherwise,
I'm gonna drop back and throw you a pass here. A little Hail Mary on this
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
What about TNA?
I'm not against that either. That's what I mean. Like, if he wants,
I think he'd be a great addition to TNA.
I think so too. And that's a whole bunch of new talent that he hasn't worked with before. And TNA is like hot right now.
Imagine him versus Moose.
I know that's
or
what I thought.
Hammerstone.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity
big.
there.
I've watched him live.
And there's a lot of benefits to going to TNA because their schedule is so much different. And like, the talent has been raving about all of the changes and like going back to TNA instead of being Impact and whatever. It's like there's a lot of reasons that people might want to consider TNA instead of AEW. So I don't think that's a bad idea. I think he would be a solid guy over there.
He would be. It was
and like
when
he's just not my cup of tea. So that's the thing. It's like, do I want to see him back? No, not really. But like, I'm sure there are some people who might. Like,
when I was in college and it was the peak of Rusev Day, my coworker of mine would text me at the most random times during the day, being like, "Hey Pitts, happy Rusev Day." It was peak time. And Nathaniel is asking here in the comments, what is Rusev Day? So Rusev Day was, I don't know specifically the years, but like 2017, 2018 range. Rusev was doing his Rusev thing, but he had the addition of Aiden English, who's actually on commentary for TNA. Amazing.
And is married to Shaul Guerrero.
He's married to who?
Shaul Guerrero, Eddie's daughter.
No, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And he would come out to introduce Rusev, but when he said it, he would declare that the day was Rusev Day because it's Rusev's day. And it became a whole
It was
gimmick,
basically whenever
bit.
Rusev came out on Raw or SmackDown, it was Rusev Day.
And then there were shirts made with the Bulgarian flag, and it said Happy Rusev Day in each of the lines. Oh, it was brilliant. Oh, I loved Rusev Day. Oh, but do I want? We'll see. We'll see if he goes to TNA. I would like to see him in TNA.
Might be better too because he won't have Lana. So
sad. Weird. Lucha Bros, it's official. We've talked about it for weeks. Now we can finally put our official stamp approval that they will be signing with WWE and allegedly getting the ye old launch pad to the main roster.
a multi-year deal too.
Fuck yes.
That's
they are
awesome. That's the alleged contract.
Good. They deserve it. Like the Lucha Brothers are so entertaining. The moves they do, not only the moves they do individually, but the double team moves that they do in regular tag team matches and also in crazy ass ladders, tables, whatever matches, extreme matches. They're so entertaining and to watch. they're going to be such a huge a massive addition to the tag division. So excited.
I am not like super familiar with them, so I'm not going to pretend to. But what I am excited about them coming to WWE and even Motor City Machine Guns is that I'm hoping that this is going to make them prioritize the tag division. That's something that we've talked about so much, is that like the women's and men's tag divisions have been so lackluster, and it's kind of surprising when you look at the men's specifically, because they brought out these brand new titles, or earlier this year, and it was like, okay, cool, like these are awesome, they're so much better than what they were before, there are so many tag teams that can compete for these, like this is so great. And then it was like nothing really great was happening after that. And it's been pretty boring since then. But the tag matches that they've had have not been boring. It's just been very few and far between. And obviously, people are voicing their opinions. They want to see more tag team wrestling. They want to see the titles defended more. So the excitement that these signings bring gives me hope, or at least a little bit, that maybe this means that they're going to put more time and energy into building up the tag division, because there's no reason to sign, big names like the Lucha Bros and Motor City Machine Guns if you're not going to really do anything with them. And there's also no point of bringing them in and immediately making them tag champions if you're not going to do anything with the division around them. So I just have my fingers crossed that this just means like more good stuff is going to come from their signings, other than them being a part of WWE.
They're really gonna enhance the tag division. I'm not even kidding. The matches I've seen them while in AEW, they're electric. I am very excited for you to be.
Let's hope they
introduced.
don't get relegated to like feuding with the Legado del Fantasma or something.
Or the LW.
Well, it depends on if they come in as a babyface team or not.
Oh, they're gonna kick ass. Well, here's the thing. They're gonna get cheered regardless.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they have to come in, but they're not gonna feud with the LWO, is what I'm saying then.
Oh, I think they should just kick ass. I don't care if people love them. I think the LWO should get their ass beat.
I want to see more people be free agents. I know that they would have to agree to it, obviously, because like working Raw and SmackDown isn't easy, and I'm not claiming it, but I would love for more people to be free agents so that they can go on Raw and on SmackDown, because like there are things like, the tag teams or whatever. It would be pretty cool to see the Lucha Brothers come in, and then it's like, oh my gosh, like you want to see them against the Street Profits, but then you want to see them against Judgment Day, but then you want to see that, it's like, but they can't do that when they're only on one show. I'm like, that would be pretty cool if they could just bounce around, because so far they haven't really done that with the people that were free agents,
So free agents was just a tag because they wanted to get the people on the main roster and had no idea how to do it.
Yeah, well,
that was a cop out.
Because they even had Logan Paul, I believe, was supposed to be a free
agent. That's the only one that makes sense.
But he's been on SmackDown. They haven't really had him
go to Raw. Champion. That's why.
No, but I mean, like, it's been months since that, is what I'm saying. So it's like they didn't have him bounce around, but
I don't think we'll see him for a little bit. They are going to the main roster, Jay. That's what we were.
That's the allegation. Yes.
The allegations at hand. And yes,
Motor City Machine Guns are going to NXT, allegedly.
Motor City. Which makes sense. Their style is comparable to the style of NXT rather than the main roster.
I think Lucha Bros should go to Raw, probably.
No, SmackDown.
There's just too much, though, on SmackDown. There's not enough tag teams on Raw.
Oh, but could they? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's just a lot on
If
SmackDown.
There was anyone to dethrone Judgment Day immediately, like in a one-off match, it would be the Lucha Bros. So
yeah, I just think there's too much on SmackDown right now.
Can't wait. It's on right now. 8:00. All right, get rid of that. Boom! John Cena, his farewell retirement tour.
I did not see this.
Begins in 2025. or basically this year. And he is allegedly given a wish list to WWE for his retirement tour. Who would you like to see get on this wish list?
Gunther,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Drew McIntyre,
Yes.
Seth
Missing one.
Rollins.
Okay. I wasn't going to say Seth.
I
don't want off Raw. Okay.
think John Cena should be a free agent.
That's the easy. That's not a cop out. That's
no.
That is like that's the one exception to this is like he's John Cena. He should be on.
Yeah. And it's his retirement show. And I mean, technically he's been tied to both shows. Like I would think when I think of Raw or SmackDown, I can think of John Cena in different eras. So I don't think that it's like The Rock is so tied to SmackDown. Like John Cena isn't like that necessarily. Like to some people maybe, but he was on both so prominently that like I would think of both. I don't know. I mean, I think most of the ones that I want to see are probably going to happen. So that's why it's like, I don't know that I need to really wish.
I'm shocked you haven't said one of them. That's mine. This is my wish is Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, but to me, like, I don't know if that's going to happen. It would have to be like,
I want it.
It would have to just be like a one-off probably because I see Cody being a babyface as long as he possibly can. So
I don't think in this case doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying about that. Yeah.
I think that's going to happen anyway. You know, that's why I'm saying like some of the ones I said, I feel like it's going to happen anyway.
But you know what I would like to see is John's. Okay. Wow. 2 ideas sprung from this. My original idea was why not send John Cena to NXT? Imagine John Cena versus Javon Evans. John Cena versus. No, he can't do Obafemi. Let's protect him.
I mean,
but there's the thought like Obafemi or Trick Williams.
I mean, it's possible. We also don't know. Trick Williams could be called up next year.
He could be called up.
So, I think it depends. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if part of his wish list is wrestling with some of the younger guys. But they are half his age. So it depends on like how much he can keep up. You know what I mean? Like this man is going to be 47 years old. So
I think he could deal with Javon Evans. I really want to see.
Well, he's wrestling
Randy. That's what I'm saying. Imagine, and there's a picture of him with an action figure trio box, and it's Randy, Cena, and then Miz. Which
it's like that kind of. I can't get over that kind of stuff. Like I can't imagine how cool that must be.
It's the best fucking. That's why I love wrestling. It's why I love it.
I also wanted to mention because we wanted to talk about it that it seems on one of the guys on Cena's wish list is Logan Paul. So
yes,
that seems inevitable, unfortunately. I'm not a fan of it simply because I don't think it would be a bad match or anything. That's not what I mean. It's just more about my issue with Logan not putting in the work to like deserve a match with John Cena. But like obviously if Cena is really handing out like a wish list of people he wants to face and Logan's on his list, I can't really like argue. It's not like they're forcing him to go against Logan, but it's just like I just think about all of the talent that would kill to be in that position, especially in Logan's position, you know, facing Cody, facing Roman, facing Cena. Like, bro, that is top tier stuff that people dream about, and they're lucky if they get to face one of them. And Logan is just getting handed opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And while I understand the star power that comes with Logan, I still feel like there is like wrestling etiquette that should be respected. And I feel like in some ways it's like very much ignored when it comes to Logan. And I get it from a business perspective, sure, whatever, but it's also like not the coolest thing to do with like the guys that have been busting their ass trying to earn these opportunities from their talent alone. And just because they didn't have an internet fame before they got into wrestling, that somehow means that they don't get it, but this guy does. Like that's just the issue that I have. But I mean, obviously it's a match that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen because Logan Paul is a celebrity outside of WWE, and he
So
can
is
bring
John
that.
Cena.
Agreed, but
There's no but.
there is a but.
There's no
It's
but.
what do you mean? There is a
John
but.
Cena's a bigger star.
But that's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing that Logan Paul is a big star in his little universe that has people who are borderline wrestling fans because they're Logan Paul fans. And then you bring him over to the product, and it's like, oh my God, he's facing John Cena, a bigger star and a movie star. Like, oh, that's going to make me watch the shit. Like, you
I
have
wish
to
we
think
could
like
have
that.
like literal evidence of how many like only Logan Paul fans have really tuned in to watch him wrestle.
Yeah,
I
right.
wish that we could see the numbers because I don't think they're as high
It's
as
a
people
brand
want
thing.
to
It's
believe.
money. It's him being a
I
founder
don't
of
thi-
Prime. It's
I
him
don't
being
think
a
he's
sponsor.
bringing in
Like,
a shit
that's
ton
what
of money the way you guys want to say it. I don't think
What do you
he is.
mean? The Prime sponsor is on
It's
the.
Prime. Yeah, he'll sell Prime, but is he selling t-shirts? Is he selling tickets?
Listen,
Is
I
he
don't think
selling
he is.
Peacock subscriptions?
With his
Enough to make
matches,
that
yes.
much of a noticeable difference? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I would like to see proof that he is actually making people buy stuff just to watch his one match. Like that's what I wish we could see.
It's. I would, for the sake of argument's sake, I would like to see that as well, Sarah, for you. So yeah, let's move on. Women's mid-card championships are in progress. Saw this tweet from PWN Reports. It's been something that's already been introduced in NXT with the North American Championship held by Kalani Jordan. It feels like we're behind the 8 ball when it comes to the main roster. Like, it hasn't been introduced. And I get, with timing of shows, and there's so much to put on a show that it's so hot right now. So I get that. But I mean, take a person like Michin. Like, that is a perfect person to have as a secondary champion, where she's borderlining that, or no, not even, yeah, kind of borderline, because yeah, she's in these championship matches, but because she's not winning them, it's like, all right, well, where's she going? She's kind of in that purgatory. This gives her legitimacy. I need to see mid-card championships, and yeah, it needs to happen.
I think that they were kind of testing it in NXT, and that's why they did it, because it's like if it flopped in NXT, then it didn't flop on the main roster, and it's a lot easier for people to ignore things ever existed in NXT, because they could just be like, oh yeah, we were just testing it, like we're developmental, so like we're developing, that I think is what it is, and I think they're showing that it's been working. Like, people are invested in what Kalani Jordan is doing and whoever she's facing. And I also think that putting this on the main roster would be so good for all of the people who are constantly complaining, especially right now, about this Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley thing, focusing too much on Judgment Day and not the women's title. Okay, well, if this were going to continue with any story, it doesn't have to be just Liv and Rhea, but any story, at least then they could have the mid-card title being defended, or people fighting over that every single week. You know what I mean? Like, then that would kind of take the pressure off of them needing to force matches or whatever they need to do with stories like Liv and Rhea's. At least then it was like, all right, well, we're still seeing a women's match that feels worthy, and they're actually fighting for something. That feels to be better, and it also gives more opportunities for the women to be on TV every single week, and women that we want to see, because the rosters are only getting bigger and the shows are allegedly only going to get longer, which means that that's going to give more time for people to be on TV, and that should include the women. So giving them mid-card titles, it just feels like a no-brainer. And we've talked about this so much. We've talked about it over the last 2 years since we've been doing this. We've been demanding that they bring in mid-card titles basically since the beginning.
A year, yeah.
Yeah, so I hope that this is true, but I think NXT was like a lab rat, and they're seeing that it's working. There, and again, Triple H allegedly looks online and looks at Twitter and what people are saying, and if that's the case, then he knows that they want mid-card women's titles. So
they have to. We need to see it. I want to see it. You want to see it. The peeps want to see it. Do people want to see this though? I think this has been the main event of all topics going on this week. Is that in 2025, when Raw moves over to Netflix, SmackDown will be adding a third hour.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That's my favorite word today.
All allegedly. But
Mhm.
if allegedly it happens,
I'm
what are our
into it.
feelings? Like
I love it.
I thank you. I'm
I've been
so
at- we-
fucking for it.
We have been, but I know I can speak for myself because I don't remember for sure. But I've been advocating for this for how long? Like even
We did say it.
Curvin commented on our last video talking about this.
Well, if you're naming
today.
comments,
Yeah,
then yes,
so
you
he
said it.
he commented on it today because of the news, and he was like, "It looks like you got your wish," and it's like, yeah, and that was just the last time that we were talking about this. I've been saying this for so long. Once the roster is starting to get better, because I'm like, SmackDown feels rushed sometimes, or it feels like they didn't really get to do a lot, or it's like super. Because
What's the
imagine
time?
if Judgment Day was on SmackDown. Just imagine.
No, that would
Or
be the show. It would be
that's the thing. That's a
SmackDown.
problem, you know? So it's like it works on Raw because they can kind of like span it out over the 3 hours,
can
and then it
kinda
doesn't
separate
feel
it.
it doesn't feel as bad, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. But on SmackDown, you know, they're gonna have so much more freedom with Raw moving to Netflix, and then they're going to have a little bit more freedom by moving SmackDown to USA. So it's like you have all of this talent on SmackDown that doesn't get on TV nearly enough. You have all of this talent that you're helping develop in NXT. And if you really think that keeping SmackDown to 2 hours and then adding however many call-ups over the next few years is somehow going to work out, you're delusional. It's not going to work out because, yeah, you can add 5 NXT call-ups to SmackDown right now, but who are you going to leave off TV? It's not going to be Kevin Owens. It ain't going to be Cody Rhodes. It ain't going to be Randy Orton. You know, like it's these top people are not going to get booted. You're going to be booting other people that deserve to be on SmackDown too because they've been there. So it only makes sense for them to go to 3 hours. And anyone complaining about it, I think is silly because if it's a problem for you that SmackDown's going to 3 hours, then don't watch it. You know, like don't watch the 3 hours then. Like I don't understand.
DVR it. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think it's more of like the fact that WWE are in a position to be able to pull off 8 hours of programming a week.
Fucking incredible.
Like if we were talking about
and that's
this
just television.
Yeah, if we were talking about this 5-10 years ago, I would say absolutely not. I mean, there were times where it was like Raw didn't need to be 3 hours, you know? But like then the idea of SmackDown being 3 hours was like, ew, no way. But no, we're getting to a point where it needs to be. It feels wrong.
I remember at the 1000th episode when they announced that they were going to 3 hours, I was scratching my head, questioning why. How could they fill 3 hours? 2 hours feels long enough.
Yeah.
But when you have the talent to do so, it goes by just as fast as the 2 hours. So I'm for it. We've been saying it for a long time. It'll only benefit the product in the end. So I'm for it. I'm a big fan of it.
Me too.
All right. Do we have any? Yeah, this is a little bit of nonsense. I will agree because they are moving it to 2 hours before SmackDown comes over and all that, and
I think
Netflix.
It's because their contract is ending.
Yeah.
And they probably have something else that they want to start implementing on the channel before Raw moves. So
yeah, here's the thing. I don't know a lot about contract verbiage.
Yeah.
Okay, but this sounds like something that my brother reads at work. Okay, and I don't do what he does. There's a lot of shit in contracts that just don't make sense, and there's like loopholes and whatnot. There's definitely an hours thing, or what you said with there. Like, you gotta know what's in the contract before you really start harping and
it does
giving
come
your
off
full
like
opinion. Like, ask the questions before. Ask questions.
It just comes off like pettiness, kind of. It feels like them trying to kind of like punish Raw for leaving them. That's kind of what
they did it with Spike. Do you remember I watched the video on this when Raw moved from Spike to USA, or vice versa, I forget which. They kept saying the name of the new channel that they were on throughout the broadcast on the other channel that has no affiliation to them. And they got like fined or whatnot. Like they couldn't censor them. They were trying to censor them by saying it or whatnot and just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. Go watch that. Like, they're petty. It could be petty shit. All right. Well, that's all the topics we had. It's Friday's show, but that means that we just get to the 1, 2, 3 count a little faster because SmackDown is on as it is 8:16. SmackDown is currently Eastern Standard Time, obviously. Yeah. And SmackDown's on. How excited are we for SmackDown tonight before we go hop out of the yard and watch it?
I'm excited. I'm excited for LA Knight versus Andrade. I am excited about Giovanni Vinci.
Good.
I am excited about the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns segment because something that I predicted is happening again.
Yeah, fuck you. Honestly, I just fuck you. Right? Like it's so annoying to be the one with the title and you're the one always right. Like give me something.
This is what I'm telling you. Sometimes I come up with some crazy ideas, but look at what happens. I'm just saying. So I am excited to see what that is because apparently it's supposed to be really good. So I'm interested to see the conversation they have and like the tone of it or like what is said. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to be friendly in their tag match? Is this just going to be that they're doing it because they have a common enemy even though they don't like each other? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm interested because there's a lot of layers to that story, which makes it so fascinating. And they could do so much with all of it. So I'm hoping they start it off on a really good foot, Yeah,
this has the potential to be another major story that branches off and has a ripple effect.
Oh, this is gonna be
a lot of other.
Yeah, this is stuff that's all gonna tie to Mania. The Bloodline, The Rock, Cody, Roman, it's all gonna tie into Mania. So that's why it's like I'm prepared for the next 6 months, brother. I'm strapped in.
Seth being his shield at WrestleMania, now just to team with the motherfucker. Like I'm in. Yeah. It's the reason why after this I'm hitting play from beginning and we're gonna watch the thing until we fall asleep and sell the fish over in Boston. But before we do that, Sarah, what did you have more to say?
No, because you didn't tell me to pick a wrestler, so I guess I'll just do the guessing because I didn't pick one.
No, just think of one like off the top of your head.
Oh,
I'm introducing the topic, so you get time.
Okay.
So this week, obviously, I like the back up again.
Mm-hmm.
So every week we do a little game of 20 questions with a different theme. This week's theme is 2000s wrestlers. It felt like a lot of. I'm just in the vibe of 2000s. Okay, with what I'm watching. So Sarah, I'm thinking of a wrestler right now. I'll let you pick somebody. I'm thinking of a 2000s wrestler. I'll give you a little hint to start. Not a main eventer. Okay, not a main eventer.
Okay, is it a man?
It is a man.
Was he a tag team wrestler?
No.
Did he ever hold the European Championship?
No.
The United States.
I'm just gonna end this before you use up your questions. I don't think he was ever a champion.
Okay.
So I'll go with 4 because you said the United States, but you got your answer.
Okay. Was he during the Attitude Era?
Yes.
Was he a hardcore wrestler? He
was in the hardcore division at one point, yes.
Interesting. Did he have a name or 2 names?
2 names.
Were okay, 2 names, and are they actual names? like birth names?
No.
Is it Hardcore Holly?
Oh, you meant two names? Like they went by two names? I thought you
Yes.
meant they had two names and two gimmicks.
No, two names.
Oh, so no
Like
to
a first and last name or something.
No, they did not. It was one
It
name.
was one name. Okay.
One name, and it's not Hardcore Holly.
Okay, and is it like an actual name like Pete, Matt,
No, you
John?
would not. You would not name your kid.
So it's a
any of
wrestling
these.
name. Okay.
You would-
Is it Taz?
No, but kind of closer. No, I don't know. You're at 10.
Okay. Rikishi.
No, but think big. Think big.
Viscera.
Yeah, there it
Really?
is.
I was just BSing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. All right.
All right. I might. Okay, Remy, what are you doing, Rams?
Remy's just buying you time. Give Remy the spotlight.
Okay, let me think of somebody because I think the one I thought of was
I was watching 6 Feet Under clips.
Remy.
And Undertaker and his co-host were talking about, and Midian actually. Midian was on the show, and they were talking about Viscera Mabel and how unsafe he was to work with. And I just thought that was so funny because like he would just there was a story they were telling about them in a battle royal, and a dude was just lying out in the middle of the ring, and Viscera did a splash on him.
Oh,
and you don't do a splash with somebody in a battle royal.
Yeah.
Bad ring etiquette. So
well,
it was
he's also a gigantic person.
600 pounds? Yeah, you don't. Yeah. Come on.
Okay, I have one.
Sweet. Let's go. All right. I have to ask the question. Man or female?
Male.
All right. Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
In a faction.
No.
No, okay.
Okay, at least if he was, it wasn't something that was like big for him, you know. Like that's not what he was known for.
Okay. Is it Val Venus?
No. Ew.
Okay. I had to get that off. I don't know why it was spraying. Attitude not a faction. Or faction tag team, right? You're giving me like
Yeah, no, he
Oh,
wasn't.
okay. It's single star. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Were they hardcore?
Yep.
Was it Raven?
Yes. God
Let's
damn
go!
it. I picked two too easy.
I love
He has a
that
banger
team.
song.
He does have a banger intro. And then obviously to wrap. Oh, what was it?
He was guessing too. Mr. Anderson was guessing.
Stevie Richards would have been a good one.
He guessed Taz with me too.
There you go. We'll get it. We're pretty good. We're on that same wavelength. And 3 to wrap it up. Sarah, as you know, I've been taking the time away from the bad gal to conquer a new journey as being general manager of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, it is not easy being a general manager, especially in WWE 2K, when Teddy Long and Paul Heyman ruin your life and force you to not book your championship match on the show, and Triple H telling you that The Undertaker needs treatment, training, whatever the case may be, to increase his health. Like, I have a pay-per-view. What are we fucking doing? So it's sad. It's just very tough going. And I have it up right now where I have 2 emails from a jobber named John the Fish Herman. So John the Fish Herman, hilarious. And AJ Styles. AJ Styles, I made a trade. ECW wanted AJ Styles. They wanted AJ Styles and I forget which female for Tiffany Stratton and AJ Styles. Are you kidding me? No. I got rid of Trick Williams and Tegan Knox and traded them for Ludwig Kaiser and like $50,000. So now we can reunite Gunther and Kaiser.
Do you see this?
I know, she just doesn't care. She's just like, yeah, This is my domain now. You just got invaded.
Mm-hmm.
This is interference. At least give her the mic to cut a promo, Sarah. Like, don't be rude.
Here, Rems.
Like, what do you got? What do you got to say? You stepped up, Remy. What do you got to say to the peeps? You interfered. Now you gotta let your voice be heard.
No, she's leaving. She dipping. She
You
out.
know who I am, but you
She
don't
left.
know why I'm here, and that's why she left.
Yep.
Oh man,
She
that's
gone.
fucking hilarious. Yeah, so that's general manager. I want to one day because I see Stash Club doing it, and I picture us doing it as well because I would love to see how you would book, like, or if we did. Like, I want to see your booking strategy because I can't tell yet. Maybe I could if we'd be very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And if we took, I'm not kidding you, if we did this and took it 50% serious, it would be a moneymaker, like must watch. I'm telling you. So, and especially if we went in with like storylines and why we did things, and like I'm telling you, like it would be fucking entertaining. But that is for us to manifest and the peeps to pray for. All right. And that's all we got for you today on the Friday show of No Nights Off. And we will be back maybe Sunday. Is that it? Or no
Maybe.
Sunday?
Just depends. Yeah.
Maybe it depends for the SmackDown breakdown. But the champ's got to be out. I got to celebrate my boy Marco. Shout out to him. He's turning 30, Sarah. He's turning 30 tomorrow. Today, actually. We're celebrating his birthday. Tomorrow. Going to allegedly, not because of this reason, but allegedly, Kowloon is the mecca for New England wrestling. Like lore or whatever. I'm going there tomorrow night. I don't know why it is the mecca or whatever it's called of New England wrestling, but to each their own. And I'm excited to have a good time. I'm excited to watch SmackDown right now. And also, I got to fucking fix my roster in WCW. All right. I have a sick roster, but no one was healthy for the pay-per-view. We're in 4th place. We got to step it up. And we have no money. So let's go fix our problems and enjoy the product. And also thank you, peeps, for tuning into this edition. We really thank you each and every week. Even every stream, not even week. We go multiple times a week. Each and every stream, you guys tune in. It means the world to me. I know for sure, and I know for Sarah as well. So keep it going. We're over 2,000 subscribers right now, Lisa. It's been a while since we've got the count.
2046.
2046. Okay, yeah. So good. So let's keep that number growing. You know, the next milestone is 2,100. So let's do it. All right. And join us on that journey by hitting that subscribe button and bell notification to know when we go live and post new videos. And then down below, links in the description for our social media channels. And I think that maybe the Twitch channel's in there. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But where I stream the Bad Gal when you're just done being brutal and done trying to be Rhea Ripley. Rude. And what else do we got to promote? Oh, Sarah Musket Fire. If you're a Patriots fan, go check out Musket Fire. Until next time, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We'll see you next stream. Yeah.